All right, let's hit up some brutals. Yes, it does. We do it blind? Yeah, I think that's more fun. We also have an AskDakka via email. I'll get to that in just a momento. Got to pick a 5, I do believe. Silvertooth. Chili Willy. Perfect. 710. All right. You mentioned getting into trouble when you were younger. Can you elaborate, or would you prefer to keep that private? Thanks for the vids. Keep booming. Yeah, sure. Oh boy, how do you even start that one? Just probably at the beginning. You want a speed run? You want a snail version of my school experience? You got it. Let's see. Kindergarten, I was good to go. No problems there, with the exception of my costume around Halloween not being like a, not approved. It was so there was like a thing like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wanted to be a vampire bat, and everyone else had like, astronaut and all that shit. And I don't know why my mom. I think my mom was just trying to humor me. Is this a smiley face? It is. Uh where are we going? Did I miss Harv? Or did he disappear into something? Probably went to the right. Uh, so it was like my favorite animal was the vampire bat, and then who I wanted to be was like Conan, and both got kaputted, I think, for some reason. Um, didn't have much trouble in kindergarten, with the exception of I got sent down to the office for some shit I did not do, and that was kid named Michael Jackson, and I'm giving the full name because there's no way in hell you'll ever find that dude without getting bombarded by a million searches. But his name was Michael Jackson. He could do the moonwalk. He was awesome. He was at my babysitter, but he knocked over one of the girls' block towers in there, and I was laughing so hard at it that the teacher thought it was me, and I got sent down for it. That was my first time down at the office, and nice. That was pretty slick. Damn, he's really building in the illusory blocks. I cried on the way down because I was like, really, it was my first time getting sent to the office. I wasn't. I'm gonna say bad kid a lot. Don't take that personally. Don't feel bad for me. It's not how I like. That's just how I thought at the time. But I was like, well, that's just for bad kids. So I thought maybe I was a bad kid, and no, it was just a misunderstanding. Oh, I double jumped there like a moron. Dang it. I felt my thumb tap and I was like, nope, drop, too late. Um, so he knocked over her block tower. She was crying. I was laughing because it was just surprised me, I think, and it was funny, whatever. While the teacher looked over, I'm laughing. Mike's nowhere to be around. Lindsay's crying. So guess who's taking the fall? It was the first of many falls I would take, but also there were a lot of things I didn't get caught for. So, it probably all balances out. That's the way I kind of see it. Um, so that was kindergarten. Nothing crazy there. And once I hit first grade, I knew I was different. And not in like a, oh, I'm smart. Not that. Not even a little bit. I just knew that something was off. Because I was doing stuff that other kids weren't doing. I couldn't focus. Um, I was still having trouble like staying on task and stuff like that. And up until first grade, I never told lies. It's just something my mom had like gotten into me. She convinced me that if I told the truth, my punishment would be less or lesser. And I think that was a lie. But I believed it for a long time because it eventually stopped when I got into trouble, narked on myself. I was always narking on myself, and I still received like the punishment I thought I'd get. And I was like, hey, you said if I told the truth, I wouldn't get as much trouble. She's like, oh, you would have gotten way more. Believe me. And I was like, I don't know if I buy that. So I started like kind of doubting. Oh, that worked out. Whether or not that wasn't some BS. And that kind of started me on the on my way to like not getting into more trouble, I guess. So first grade, where are you at? Yo, P.S. I saw the reports that these guys are getting some kind of like slow blast where it's a mod where they shoot and they slow you down. That's gonna be pretty nice. So first grade, I was getting into trouble more. I wasn't doing well with the schoolwork. I had an old ass teacher who was like not even kidding, probably 72, teaching first grade. She was very old school. And I was not performing well in there. Wasn't Her workload was like way too much for me coming out of kindergarten. So I was getting in trouble with her a lot. I just was getting distracted, couldn't stay focused. I took someone's worksheet that we had, like a tray that we put all our stuff in, you know, like you finish it, and I forgot to do it. And so I was just like, well, what if I just take one out, erase his name, and put mine? And this was another part where I started, or I guess everyone started to realize, like, all right, what's going on with Joe? Is I couldn't like empathize very well. Like I couldn't put myself in other people's shoes. So like for me, I didn't have the worksheet. So what did I do? I just took a worksheet out, erased his name, put my name on it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I really didn't. I kind of at the time remember being like, well, you know, but I don't know. So it's kind of sneaky about it. So I must have known. I don't know. I wish I can't tell you what first grade Joe was thinking, but it wasn't good. But I got away with it because Mrs. L, well, not say her full name, she was like, hey, so-and-so, you didn't turn in your sheet. And it was the kid whose sheet I had changed it on. He's like, I did. I put it in there. She's like, well, it's not here, dude. So, you know, you gotta redo it or whatever. And the kid was just like confused as hell. You know, he's like, what the hell? I certainly did it. And I think he shot him in the back and I blew him up. That's awesome. And so I remember I was getting in a lot of trouble in her class. She'd already moved my seat, all that. And she was kind of not yelling at him, but like, you know, you're in trouble. And I remember feeling like good about it, but not because he got in trouble. I was just glad I wasn't in trouble. I know that sounds messed up, but I was like, oh, it was like a huge relief that it wasn't me getting yelled at. And I was just excited to not be the one in trouble, totally disregarding the fact that I'm the one who caused the trouble for that dude. Which, by the way, I hope David is okay out there. It didn't wreck his, you know, his ascent into whatever profession he went into. That came up short pretty fast for me, though. After people discovered I was lying, because I never lied, people kind of used me as a... Like, teachers just be like, hey, Joe, you know, did this happen this way? And I was never, like, disrespectful to adults. I just couldn't pay attention. I was just doing my own thing. And so they kind of used me as, like, a, hey, is this the truth? But once I started lying, you know. And really, it was like, well, you can just lie and, like, nothing happens. Because I thought there would be, like, consequences. I know that sounds messed up. But once there wasn't, I was like, well, I'm just an idiot then if I'm just like going by, because I didn't understand it. I just thought it was like a powerful tool that was being held for me, which I suppose is true. But, you know, it's not. It's not. It's really, it's a crutch, and it's something that ultimately harms you more than anything. But whatever. So I was, once they found that out, things got real bad for me. I think I probably screwed up another thing, didn't cover my tracks or something. And then I was public enemy number one for sure. I was getting sent down to the office a lot. Still was crying, getting sent down. You know, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. You know, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad. And spoiler alert, they were both teachers. So it was especially bad that I was performing poorly in school. I think they weren't like, they didn't make me feel that way. Like, they were cool. But, like, I kind of felt like, oh, man, like, my parents are teachers and I can't even get my shit together. So I had this, like, progress report that I had to bring home at the end of every... It was either day or week. I think it was week. I fucking hated that goddamn thing. Because you get, like, a smiley face or an unhappy face or, like, a neutral face. And, like, all of my shit was unhappy, you know? So you'd bring that home. And then your parents would be mad at you after you left the place that you already hated. So it was like, man, school was prison for me, straight up. So everyone was confused. They were like, what the fuck is going on with Joe? And me too, honestly. I was like, I don't get it either. Someone help me, you know? So I went in to a doctor. They diagnosed me pretty fast with ADD. I went to another doctor for a while, which was just a complete fucking waste of time. She'd hook me up to a machine, put little electrodes on me. She put like this, not petroleum jelly, but like, it's like the waxy whatever. And she'd hook it up to my head, and I had to like move a spinning wheel of color. Oh, this is cool as hell. Shit, I brought the wrong kit though. Bummer. Ooh, there's assassins here too. Oh, they're here. They're right here. They're on me. Watch the bombs. Yeah, there we go. Armor, of course. Armor again, you butt. So I had to spin this wheel around, you know, basically, and on the screen. And then there was another game where it was like fish, and that remember that screensaver? Maybe you don't, in like the 90s or something, where like the fish were like, you know, coming across the screen and they'd eat each other randomly. I had to make fish eat each other. And basically, it was like an hour or some shit where I was doing that. And she was like, hey, you're not focusing. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. I can't. That's why I'm fucking here. And, like, there was no improvement, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Okay. I can probably get you with that. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. And then it's you. I like he made it so you can fly and fight. What a boss. Let's do that with you. Get boomed on. And then long shot, trick shot, okay, that's not happening anymore. So I was in there doing that. I don't even know. It felt like a long time, but it was probably like for 3 months or some shit. And then at the end of that, I would get a fruit roll up if I don't even remember. I think she always gave me a fruit roll up, honestly. But at some point, I stopped caring about whatever it was we were doing, and I just wanted the fruit roll up. And once that happened, I think either the doctor or my mom was like, F this, and they canceled that. So I was just, I was taking Ritalin. I don't remember the milligrams, honestly, but I remember like my teacher knew when I didn't take it. That sucked. If you got a kid that's got it or something like that, I'll tell you what, nothing sucks more than someone knowing when you weren't on your meds, because then it's like, shit, you know, like I must be pretty different when I'm not on these things. At least that's what I came to. I remember even when I was young being like, man, that sucks that people know. And they would, man. They'd always be right. Like the few times I'd forget or whatever, they would just, I never saw that. So, I'd get those reports home, hated them. By second grade, it was pretty rough. I knew in first grade, excuse me, I think I'm getting a cold to my nose. I'm going to try and clear it. Sorry. I know that's probably disgusting. So by, oh, shit. Second grade, I knew I was in bad shape. Like, I was taking pills with all the other kids that had to take pills, and those kids were not okay. They were in bad shape, too. Wow, does he have them on? Oh, what is going on here? You know, they had like multiple pills in their little Dixie cup. I had like one, I think, or something, maybe two. I don't even remember. But, so I was taking pills with them, and, I was on restricted access for, whatchamacallit, recess. Like I couldn't go out for the first 10 minutes. All right, let's find the entrance. You're getting distracted here, buddy. It's happening again. That's the fake entrance. Oh, there's Harvey. I just saw him. So yeah, I'd have to start recess 10 minutes late. I wasn't allowed at any of the assemblies. There was a thing on the playground. This was like a big fucking incident, which is so dumb now. Shit, where's Harvey at, though, for real? Think it's around the back? Ah, that ain't right. So there were these 3 concentric circles on the ground outside in the playground, probably from a game that everyone forgot about from like the 60s and 70s or some shit. And I had found like a stick that was about 2 feet long, pretty thick, on the playground. And I brought a kid over, and like we got into the center. You'd hold like one hand on the middle, one hand on the end, and the other one would do the same. Where the fuck is Harvey at, dude? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a tough one. So the object was to push the other person out, and so we played that. That was fun as hell, and it took on like anything new. And soon we had like a big lineup trying to, you know, push people out, and it was awesome because yeah, you gotta go. I'm out of like pretty much. All right, let's go, Tom. You don't have anything, huh? Oh, what? Hello? Oh, fuck? Where are my bolts at? Did I spend them all? Where the hell did my... This is insane, dude. My God, dude. Did that assassin die from the lasers? 'Cause that's kind of funny. If so, where the hell are all my bolts? Oh, shit, 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 shit. Yeah. So I create this push-out game. It's like basically sumo wrestling, honestly. It's probably the best way to describe it. But I got really good at it because I was playing it a lot. And big kids would come in, you know, really strong kids, and it was actually worse for them because what they'd do is they'd push all their weight into you right off the bat, and all you had to do is sidestep them. So big kids were like my bread and butter. And I got pretty good at pushing them out, or really getting them to push themselves out. And it really took off, and eventually it was like, you know, the game we were mostly playing instead of Foursquare. Got really big, and one of the lunch ladies got really mad at it, and she banned it. And not only did she ban it, she put me on the wall, so I wasn't able to play any games. She said I was encouraging like violent play, which I guess it was. It's not like anyone was getting hit, but like we'd push, you know, it'd be two dudes like really pushing each other hard as they could to push them out, and you know, people would fall and stuff and hurt themselves a little bit. So she put me on the wall, and she took away the stick, broke it, and put it in the dumpster. Never forgive her for that. It was such a good stick. And I mean, you know what's up. Like when you find a good stick, it's everything. And it was the perfect one. Man, I wish I could have that stick still. It's also worth... Oh my God. It's worth noting that this entire time, like, I'm kind of a runt. And as a guy, if you don't know, if you're one of the one or two girls watching this right now, if you're a runt as a dude or a fat kid as a dude, you're going to have issues unless you figure that out quick. And so I wasn't really bullied in any like real capacity, but like, you know, you get targeted here and there. And very early on, I just went hard in the paint on like if my boundaries were pushed, I went extra hard. I was like, fuck it. You know, my dad was like from a poor area growing up in a literal, it's called a certain project. And he was, funnily enough, always like, hey, just avoid fights. Like, don't be there. And I was like, well, you can't always be there. My mom was not the same. She was like, hey, if you can avoid fighting, do it. But if you have to, you go until you can't breathe. And so I was like, I'm going to go with that one. So early on, I fought a lot more, and it worked out for me. My first kind of like step up back worked for me. And that's only pertinent to the story because I kind of carried that mentality all the way through, and it probably hurt me more than anything. But I was like, well, you know, if I'm willing to go farther than him, even if he's bigger, he's not going to want to come back, you know, and do it again. And the idea is like you hurt them so much that even if you lose, you know, they know that they're going to get hurt the next time. And I was like, all right. And to be fair, it worked for me. I wouldn't encourage anyone else to do it. Although I guess I have with my boys, I probably should chill on that a little bit. That's the problem, you know, anyways. Okay. Sorry. So this isn't much of a speed run. I'm not really snailing you right now. I'm doing the Dakka Boom special, which is just rambling until you get to something good. So first grade, I was getting the progress reports. That shit sucked pretty bad. Was taking pills. By second grade, I had another really bad teacher. She was also like 1 year away from retirement, and she just wanted an easy job. And you know what? To be fair in all this shit, I really, like, I've made a lot of teacher friends of mine very upset with what I'm about to say, but I do kind of feel that way. Like, you know, as much as it sucked, the way that certain teachers and adults handled that whole thing, I don't think they knew very much about it. I don't think they knew how to handle it. And really, I was just being a fucking huge distraction. And I don't think that's fair to everyone that's trying to learn either, you know? Like, yeah, it sucks here and there, but you know, you gotta deal with these kids, you know, the best way you can. So anyways, sorry, do the ring game. I get pulled for that. They put me on the wall. So now I'm late to go into recess, and now I have to sit on the wall. But we came up with another game where the last one to leave the wall, you know, won. So we'd all get on the wall as soon as recess started, and you know, the last one off it would win, and we'd go whole recess as well. Went one time, and then the lady who stopped the stick game stopped that game. And then she went to my teacher and was like, hey, this is happening. It's not working. So I had to stay inside for recess. And, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I did not see you. We'll do that then. I got to start getting my stuff back. So the wall game also was a big no-no. I got my parents called for that. My mom was mad. My dad was kind of getting pissed off, I think, a little bit. Like, you know, would you stop kind of deal? Messing with my kid. What you got to understand, you know, as much as it was like, yeah, you know, a stick game, I was also kind of putting the screws in a little bit. It wasn't all like, oh, you know, he's just an innocent kid who's creative. Like, nah, I was trying to be a shit a little bit, you know. That's fair. Straight up deserve it. Oh man, that would have been a cool hit. So that the stick game was done. Let me get this, and I'll try and remember some more. Shit, you gotta go. When I get you, come back with this. Boom. Mission completed. Oh, there's another. Where? Where'd that? Where you at, homeboy? Want to try me? Okay. Just phantom. Got it. Understood. Where were we at? Yeah, so the games were out. Recess was... Did I not get it? No, Oh my god, what the hell's going on? Sorry about that. Games were restricted. Second grade sucked. At that point, I grabbed a microwave from... Someone was tossing out on trash day. Oh, fuck, dude. Not expecting that. Wow. All right. I'm going to get all this XP. Thank you. Let's do this. Very open. It's cool, though. Little... Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me, dude. The last one got me? Fudge, dude. All right. Check this out. We're just going to grab this thing and go. Do this. We'll do this. And we'll do this. And that. And okay. Oh, I didn't grab a sword. That's pretty genius of me, I would say. Oh, this isn't going to work as well as I thought, huh? Remember, you got a shield, but only 3 bolts now? Because you're kind of dumb about how you handled this. Alright, let's try and keep going. I grabbed a microwave from the side of a road someone was throwing out, and I put it in a tree fort that me and my dad built. Well, let's be honest, he built it. And, alright, let me think here. So what sucks about what I've done to myself here? Right, you're down low. Oh, brutal. Okay. Okay, continue your thought, please. Grabbed a microwave, put it in the treehouse, and from that point on, I was burning all the stuff from school because it was just getting me into too much fucking trouble, and I was getting real tired of people, like, fucking up my days off, you know? Yeah, don't get me with that weirdo stuff. Boom. Gotta get that now. And also, all the kids in my neighborhood used it if they needed to burn stuff. So we go out there, we'd put our progress reports and our report cards out there because at the time, in the same way I had trouble empathizing with other people, I had trouble empathizing and predicting and thinking about the future for myself. And as far as I was concerned, well, that was just a fucking pain in the ass. I'm so mad that that one bolt got me, and I know he's loving life because of it. Which I guess is good in the long run. Problem is I can't find these because I got the goddamn melee sword loadout here. It's alright, we're going to do this. Just call it a day. I'm out of here. So, alright, fast forward. Third grade. Third grade's cool. Got a really nice teacher. They back off the meds. Not much to report. I'm still in the line with the kids, but I think they backed off the meds. She was really cool. Plus, it was like the first year I wasn't the bad kid. We had a really like troubled dude from the inner city, and he would just like go off, dude, and like throw chairs and stuff. And we had like a quiet space for all like the special kids, I want to call it, which were just the beady kids, like cool out areas. I only got to go to it once, and it was fine. It's mostly boring, but it was like kind of a sensory deprivation thing where there wasn't much going on, I think. And that dude had his like own little cubby that was his, like under like a desk that was mounted to a wall. It was like his, and he had like a little light bulb under there. Actually, it's pretty fucked up now I'm thinking about it. It was some Harry Potter under the steps kind of shit, but it calmed him down. What happened after that? Trying to think. Yeah, I think third grade I was just happy not to be the kid. You know, like he'd pop off and I remember being like, "Oh, thank God it's not me." I still wasn't allowed at the no, I was allowed to start going to assemblies. I was like doing okay in third grade ish comparatively, like getting better. And I think it's mostly the teacher. She was just cool. I got the wrong kid again, dude. So this is gonna suck ass for me. Uh but I remember there was a group of Native Americans that came through, and they had a bunch of cool shit like arrowheads and oh man, I am bugged. Yeah, this is gonna be not fun, I don't think. Oh, actually, where'd I miss that though? Because now I gotta track my bolts down the old-fashioned way. Or did I fire them? Oh man, and I can't see them, so I can't grab them through the. All right, this is what we're doing. F this. I'm not doing the space like this. Oh. Okay. Anyways, Native Americans came through. They did like a cool song. They showed the arrowheads. I remember being like, "This is fucking awesome." Loved it. Um, what else? So third grade. What else? Oh, I fucking did it again. God damn it. Damn it. Bullshit, I say. So third grade. Uh, it was going well, and then it fucking wasn't. And I will explain. That probably that, and then yeah, that's fine. So third grade, the U.S. did this national test. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it was. I think it was called Reach. Fucking ruined my life. Really did for a while there. I mean, I'm being facetious. Obviously, didn't like fucking ruin it. Yeah, look at that. Haha. And so we all had to take this goddamn test, and I unfortunately scored high on it. So suddenly everyone's real excited about Joe and his prospects and blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, you know what? The reason Joe's doing so poorly is because he's not challenged enough. And, you know, maybe what he needs is more of a challenge. And like my mom found out about it because they sent it at a weird time, so I couldn't intercept. I was always intercepting mail from the school and uh, burning it in the microwave. So I remember my mom being like, "Where are the progress reports?" I'm like, they don't do those anymore." And I honestly didn't even care or think about like future Joe having to deal with it. I was like, "That's his problem." I was like, "I don't have to deal with it now. That's all that matters." But that was like how I thought about everything. I know that's like really messed up, and I agree that it's messed up. Um, so, I don't know about that. I should go low now. Oh boy, this is gonna be a whole thing. Uh, so I took this test. I scored high with some other kids. Like all the other smart kids were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be great." And for a moment, I thought it might be cool. And then I was like, shit. So they put me in these accelerated classes, and oh my god, the pace was way too fucking fast. I couldn't. Let's do this. I couldn't fucking keep up. I was getting distracted. All okay, yeah. Let's do that. That's easy picks. And then one of these. Um, and then I guess like do some bounce backs. Oh shit, you don't. How deep? Not deep. Not deep. Yeah, cool. Is that gonna get me? Oh, that one is. Okay. So I start the Reach program, do horribly in it. And they're like, well, um, this isn't working at all. It's going so bad. Now people are like real fucking mad at me because like now it's a bunch of overachievers and like the teachers teaching those curriculums or whatever the fuck it was. And they're like, there's expectations, and these kids are like wonderkins when it comes to like doing schoolwork and shit. And that is not me. So I do poorly. They're like, this isn't working. Like, Joe is not in the right place. So then they're like, he needs to actually go into remedial. And I was like, okay. So I started, I went to this remedial thing. It lasted 3 days, but it was awesome, dude. I was crushing it. I was killing it. I like was hitting max on the vocab. Like everything was going really well. I was like, this is great. You guys found the right spot for me. This is it, Oh, baby. Um, I was in heaven there, and they took that away from me, of course. Because I was crushing it, and Mrs. P was really nice. She was like really patient and shit, and I'm guessing that's because she had to deal with, certain types of people. Oh wow, that almost killed me. And so after 3 days of that, she's like, Joe doesn't belong here. I'm sorry, like this is not for him. So I get bumped back to I call it Gen Pop. Just ignore that. That's just what I used to call it. But I'm back with Gen Pop with everyone else, and I'm back to like fucking square one after being ragdolled around for like a couple weeks between the Reach and this shit. And okay, yeah, okay, that side blast that. And what else? So, oh shit, you got to handle that, dude. There you go. So really it was just like me being fucking lost. Like I didn't know what the hell where I belonged or like what I was supposed to be doing because whatever I did sucked as far as schoolwork, and that goddamn Reach program, basically everyone was like, see, he's fucking faking it. And I'm like, I'm not faking shit, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm struggling so hard. There is nothing fake about this, But, those goddamn tests, they're like, well, he wouldn't have been able to blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like in remedial, I'm like, see, I'm not. And then that didn't work. So it was just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Let me try and... So third grade was going nice, and then they fucked it up for me. Just straight up, being real. Not trying to be a turd. Yeah, school's just ass. And I'm only at third grade right now. So, it didn't get better, let me tell you that. And most of my friends were, like, really good at... Okay, don't do that. They were pretty good. So it really was just me, like, not doing well. What happened in fourth grade? Trying to remember. Who was it? Fourth grade, who did I have? I got to remember the teacher to remember what happened. Fourth grade. Okay, I remember. I was back on meds at this point. Because that whole reach thing really fugged things up in a gnarly way. This is beatable, right? Do you believe? Like, oh man, are you getting? No, these are all painted. We're cool. Just do that. Okay, cool. Fourth grade, fourth grade. What happened? Oh, yeah. Fourth grade, I was at the front of the class. Most of the classes I was in the front. They either put my desk up front so they could keep an eye on me, or they kept me off to the side and away from everyone. And in this case, I was off and to the side near the air conditioner heating. And I stuck a pencil down in there in one of the slats, and it caught the belt, and it fucking made the most horrid noise ever as it like ground to a halt and started smoking. So then that was oh man, that was a big fucking deal. I then my desk got put out in the hallway. So I was out there. God, saying it out loud, it does sound really bad. I'll be honest with you. I got used to it. I really did. It wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it sucked, but I wasn't thinking about the future really. So I was like, whatever. Fifth grade, I was on the most meds. They had upped my dosage, I think, and that's when I was like reading on my own. Like they give me a chapter book, and I would just like read by the window. And I remember kids asking like, "Hey, why does Joe get to read? You know, we're all at our desks." And I remember the teachers being like, "Just shut up, like, just let him. He's not disturbing anyone." And like now I know, like, wow, that's a lot of DBs. Thanks. And my thing got back. Nice. Um, gonna roll back again. Gotta love the boom cannon, baby. So I was on a lot of meds. And they were working for the most part. I could read books, like I could focus. I'd read whole chapters. I loved it. It was cool. I mean, but one of my buddies at the time made a joke that I knew was funny, and I remember being like, I know that's funny, but I couldn't laugh at it. That really fucked me up. I think that's when I was like, I don't think I trust the adults anymore. I think I was like, I think they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And honestly, I didn't believe I had ADD either. Even though I was diagnosed and shit, I was at the time people treated it like okay, you know, like that, and rolled their eyes. So I was like, all right, I guess it's not really real. I assure you, it is now because it never went away for me, really. Oh, that was juicy. Is there flames here too? Because that would be a problem. Wait, is this safe? No way. Oh yeah, baby. But there's some stuff up here. Okay. He's firing at me. So Steve made this joke. I knew it was funny, couldn't laugh, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. Because laughing was like all I had, really. Not to sound like pathetic and sad, but like the one thing I had was at least I was happy all the time. I mean, I was happy when school wasn't involved. Once school got any of its fucking dirty mitts on any part of my life, it was a shit show every time. And I think it's just ultimately, I'm not built for it. That's just straight up what it is. Without sounding too fucking dramatic or whatever. So I started lipping my meds, which became another problem. So, you know, everyone would take their stuff, and I started lipping it. And then when I get home, I put it in a shoebox, and I unscrewed a vent, and I throw it in there because this sounds weird. But at the time, I knew that they were expensive. Like my mom, you know, my parents were teachers, so they weren't like cranking bucks. And I figured if I got caught, because at this time I'm starting to think about like, all right, how is this going to play out if I do get caught? I'm starting to learn a little bit. And so I figured if like everyone figured it out eventually, it was fun and artistic. This is going to be a long one, and I'll put it in there like don't watch because it's long for people that don't want to like listen to this shit, you know? Because I figured they'd get mad if I like threw all the meds away. So I had like a shoebox full of them for a fucking hot minute. Then sixth grade hit. I'm trying to think. Sixth grade. Junior high did not go well for me. Hell disco. Oh, well. What does that say, dick? I really want to go there. But, oh, okay, there's a bunch of cool ones. Of course there is. Of course there is. You stack them all up. Well, all right, we're going to find out. No, we're not. We're going to go with the gut, which is this. Stay Puffed Marshmallow. There's no way I'm going to fit this all in the title. Sixth grade, new place, got into a lot of disputes. I still carried that kind of runt mentality, even though I was now probably average or above average size, but you never forget, especially when something works for you. So I was still going pretty hard, like when people push boundaries, and I got in a fight with this kid who was bigger than me, and we slapped each other around for a little bit, and I don't even know if you can do this anymore. It was the weirdest shit ever, and in a series of weird shit. Excuse me. Faulty ass, broken ass spawners. They put us in a room together, just by ourselves, after we got in this fight. Still this day, the weirdest goddamn thing. It was like full of like games and shit. I'm sure now that like there was cameras in there watching us, but like they just put us right in there after the fight, and we stayed there the whole fucking day. And honestly, at the end of it, we were friends, so I guess it worked, but kind of weird, right? Oh yeah, they'll get there. I didn't get shit on that either. It sucks. This is all right. This is what I got to do. I got to investigate. What am I dealing with here? Let's do one of these. Let me get one of those back. One of those back. Oh, you're like all up in there. Damn, dude. That's if I can't steal these, this is a good setup. Oop, maybe though. No, I think he I think he insulated dude really well. I do believe. We'll see though. That was the year I punched Ryan in the back of the head because I thought he was going after my buddy Rob. Oh man, he did insulate that bastard. So I was getting in lots of fights. Not even really long ones. Nice. I like that. Still wasn't allowed. Well, now I'm back off the assemblies. I can't go to anyone. I couldn't go to any awards assemblies. The field trips I wasn't allowed to go on. They had like a what was it? We had like a laser show come in. I remember seeing the lasers when the door opened, but I was out in the cafeteria with like some other bad kids, and like we'd see the lasers come out, and we were like, oh, that sucks. I don't know, man. How do I do this? It's a tricky one. I kind of want to like die to get my stuff back. It's got such a good angle though. So yeah, I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff, but I was allowed to go to the library like whenever I wanted to kind of like just do my own thing because they wanted me out of the classroom. And there I found this game called Shuffle Puck, which was this old ass like I have nothing. I have nothing to fight with. I didn't get shit back either. It fucking blows, dude. Good setup though. Oh, I did. I got some stuff back. Okay. Well, absolutely first things first on this. Oh. Oh, that's different. Thank you. Oh, shit. Hell yeah, dude. Come on in. Yeah. Come fight me. It's all good. That's beautiful. So there was this game called Shuffle Puck. Or Shuffleboard. I don't even remember. It was like black and white. And I got really good at that because I spent a lot of time in the library. What else? I got kicked off the bus for creating an inappropriate song that became a little catchy. Which my buddy remembers and I don't really, but it ended in Shapoopy, so it wasn't that bad. But, at that time, like, everything was just like, Punish Joe, I guess. Okay. No chance. Can I get these, you think? Nah, I don't think so. Damn. That's a good sink. Oh, man. Could use the boom right now, too. I might be able to snake these. me check. This is going to be one long-ass video. Holy hell. Okay, where was I? Going to the library. Got in trouble again for, I was fine too. I would constantly, you know, self-sabotage, not on purpose, but, I was writing in my textbooks, you know, there'd be like little pictures and shit you'd see in those. I put little captions next to them, and I thought they were funny, but everyone else who was on staff at the school did not approve whatsoever. This is gonna be tricky, dude. This guy is an absolute fucking monster for this base. Nah, that ain't happening. Not without a shield. Oh, man, this is fucking brutal. So what is this? Alright, I got time, I guess. What's here? I don't know, man. Can I get those back? I hate to do this again, but... Alright. So they punished me in 7th grade. 8th grade, I tried a full reset. I was just, like, getting fucking dogged. I was going out of the office all the goddamn time. It was just becoming a problem for me. Like, I was just getting tired of, like, constantly being in trouble. I didn't even... It took that for me to, like, try and change, really, because I didn't give a fuck, really, at the time that people were getting upset with me. I just didn't think about it that way. I should have, but, like, there's something wrong with my brain. It didn't develop right or something. That's my thought. Because I didn't socialize properly. Something went wrong. I don't know. It was probably the isolation amongst other things. That's my guess, if I had to try and self-diagnose. But, you know, I also was, like, out of control. No one knew where the fuck I belonged. I didn't know where I belonged. You know, that's frustrating. Everyone else seemed to, like, know what the fuck they were supposed to be doing. And it felt like at the time, although, you know, when you're an adult, you realize, like, no, it's most people, I think. I don't know. I mean, damn, this guy is a butthole, dude. Holy hell. Real big butthole, but man, good base, too. You gotta admit. It's making this into the world's longest video ever, so congratulations. What was I saying? So, got tired of all that shit. I think everyone else was getting tired of me too, frankly. And I don't blame them. But 8th grade, I tried a full reset. I like went full white knight kind of deal. Like I was just like, I'm just not going to do bad shit anymore. And I really like leaned into it, and it went well to a degree. Like people because people were kind of afraid of me. Not because like I was going to, you know, fight them or anything like that. It's just, I was a problem, and people didn't want to be associated with me. Ooh, I can get that back, and I can get that one back too, which I'm gonna try. Because I don't want it to come off like, oh, I'm very bad. I think I was just like, I wasn't allowed at like 4 or 5 of my like the kids in my neighborhood's house, just because like, well, I don't want to. Like one of them, I was just like staring at them one time at dinner out in the backyard, and they were like, "Hey, Cher." Who's my mom, like, you know, Joe's like staring at us. It's just, I don't know what was going on with me, dude. I wish I could tell you, but that's the truth. I was just like a little bit off or something. I don't know. So 8th grade, I tried a full reset, got really like nice. I really tried to be nice to people. And it was working. Like people were like opening up, and, you know, I was like getting friends and, you know, hanging out and doing that kind of shit. Man, this is such a brutal base without my fucking shit. I really, really want my... I'm trying to decide if it's worth it. It might be. Because if I die and have to, like... I think it's worth. I really do. The White Knight thing was too tough. Like, people were opening up, and I was having friends and stuff, and, you know, it was working, but, like, it was just too hard. Like, I felt like I was being disingenuous, because I'm not that, you know, at the end of the day. I think I'm just, you know, I was too worried about, like, trying to define what I was, and I think at the end of the day, I just was like, I don't think I'm anything, to me. What the? Come on, dude. That hit on the ground. Give me a break. Oh, it got kicked by that stupid... Oh, my God. I'm going to brutalize myself at this base. It didn't get... Oh, my God. That better be gettable. Better be gettable. Better be gettable. So that was too hard to maintain. I kind of gave up on that, like, halfway through the year. I didn't, like, go back to, like, the way I was, but, like, I had to find a middle ground because, like, just being, like, you know, goody-goody was... I couldn't do it. Probably because it wasn't as fun. I mean, obviously. You know, it's not as fun not doing whatever the hell you want whenever you want to do it. And I didn't have any concerns about the future because I was never thinking about the future. So, like, I always just did whatever in that moment. And I would feel bad after I got caught or, like I thought about it or someone brought it up to me. Like, hey, you know, this does this. I'd be like, oh, fuck. And I really would feel bad. But in the moment, I didn't feel shit. I think I got that. Finally. Holy hell, this base is something else. Okay, so one there. If I can get a bank shot, like, here, maybe? Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, I didn't get you on the left. Oh, my God. So... 8th grade, they just kind of pushed me up. I was, you know, behind in all my classes, getting Fs and shit. Nonstop. And, just doing poorly, you know? Everyone was like, what the hell's going on with you? And I'm like, I don't fucking know if you guys don't. I sure as shit don't. And freshman year kind of just kept going. I didn't care as much still. It might have been freshman year. I was in a couple classes. AutoCAD, I was paying a kid to do for me because I sucked at AutoCAD. My God, this base is crazy. This is just brutal. It's an absolute brutal grind. And was this the Stay Puft one? Man, I bet you he just lulls people in with this. Oh, and I can't get these either. Man, this is a true ammo sink hole. And so AutoCAD I couldn't do. I paid someone with you could sell candy, so I was selling candy on the side and using that money to pay this guy to do my work. I did okay in that class. Everyone's like, "See, AutoCAD is the class for you." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Does that set something in motion too? Because why do you have the? What's up with this? Is there anything on the left here? I was in a keyboarding or like typing class. After AutoCAD, and I got in trouble there because I put my mouse, I wired my mouse to like the next person's computer, and I would I'd use the mouse to like click things and like I'd try and replicate their hand movements, you know, to make it seem like they were in control, but then I'd like veer off and be like, what is... And they'd look at the mouse, and I'd stop, and eventually they caught on, and the guy doing it... Oh, that's the... I'm dead, dude. That was through that. If I'd gone up, I'd be dead. Oh, my God. This guy's a monster, dude. I don't even want to deal with whatever the hell that is. Okay, be cool. Oopsies. Okay. If you're not going to look, I'm not going to move. Vision is based on movement. Yeah, just like get out of here, dude. This is up there, man. Hard bases. I mean, I took in the boom. Yeah. Crossbows you won't get away with, I don't think. I mean, maybe here. But you're still going to be down. Yeah, that's about right. God. Don't have one more thing here for me, please. So I got in trouble in there. I don't remember if I got kicked out of that one. I don't think I did. But the photography class I did as an elective was a big goddamn nightmare. That was this and this. This was not fun. Not Probably was. That was a pretty efficient ammo sink, you gotta say. Let's give the warnings what it's due. So photography, photography class. This is about to be an hour long, but F it, I guess. Yeah, maybe it'll help someone along the way. I don't know. Maybe just having someone that was like, I don't know what the hell my my problem was, but photography class kicked off. There was a teacher in there who I believe at some point wanted to be a professional photographer for some magazine. Didn't work out. Instead, she was teaching at the high school. She was very not happy. She was pretty like just not. It felt like she was miserable being there. And at the time, I was still like pushing buttons, and I had some buddies in the dark room, and we were always screwing around. And she would send me down to the office literally every day. And I don't mean that as like, it was like pretty, I mean, every day she would send me down to the point where the dean was like, hey, Joe, I'm just going to send you back with a warning, because he was feeling bad for me. Like, the dean at the high school was like, this is bullshit, you know? And at the time, I was just like, whatever. I was so used to getting in trouble that it was, you know, I didn't enjoy it, but I was like, I'm not about to, like, I've been to this rodeo before, you know? And so I pushed it a little bit. There was a little plastic fish that was like a puffer blower, and I don't know which. I think it was for blowing like dust off of the prints, and it was in there for everyone. And you know, me and a couple of the guys, just jokingly, like put it on top of the light in there, like the darkroom light, just whatever, because you know we were pushing buttons. Wasn't cool of us at all. It wasn't. But we're dumb high school guys. And she gets really mad about it. More mad than I expected. Like, she's like, please return this. I swear to God, it couldn't have cost more than 50 cents. It truly was like out of a, like, gumball machine type of deal. Not kidding. Didn't get him. Bummer. So I find out that that's her button. And of course, me being who I was at the time, I was all about pushing it further. So I spent 2 days in other classes cutting out letters from a magazine and photocopying it. If you ever want to see the blowfish again, leave $40 in unmarked photo paper by the water fountain at 8 o'clock. Just as, like, of course, photo paper was really expensive, and that's kind of the joke. Oh shit, that I was trying to go for, because it was like, I want to say prohibitively expensive for some people. Like, it was kind of stupid that it cost so much. But, you know, was that her fault? I don't know. Probably not. But it did feel like we were getting, like, shit on a little bit. That's what I told myself. It probably wasn't the case. I don't know. So we photocopy that. We leave it in the dark room. The next day, she is fucking livid. She's like, who left this? And it was me and, like, 3 other guys. And she's like, Joe, go to the office. And like, didn't eat. And everyone was like, hey, Joe didn't do it, which is kind of bullshit. I did. I wasn't the only one. But it got so bad that people felt bad about me going to the office, which is kind of messed up, I guess. That they were like, hey, you know, so Kenny was one of them. And Kenny's like, hey, he didn't do it. And she's like, well, then you know who did if you know he didn't do it. And he's just like, no, I'm just saying I was in there. Joe didn't do anything. Because I was already at the door. I was like, am I going or not? And she's like, yeah, keep going. And I was like, all right. So I went down there and I talked to Dean M, who I normally talk to. And he's like, this is getting ridiculous, dude. Like, did you do this? And I'm like, I mean, you know, he's like, dude, give it back. And I'm like, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. He's like, just stop, dude. Like, she's already, you know, she hates you. Just stop. And I was like, well, you know, I don't know where it is, which was bullshit. I just was tired of her. And I was kind of, you know, at the time when you're just like an angry kid, you're just looking for targets left and right. And that was my target. And she, you know, she made me her target. So it was kind of a back and forth, I guess. So we eventually returned it. I never had any intention of like keeping it ever. One, because I don't fucking care. Okay. But that really went poorly, and she got worse and worse throughout the year, where it became like a real issue. But the thing is, this is my thought on it: is here's a person who's unhappy to begin with, and I'm kind of pushing her a little bit more. I know that every time I tell these stories to like buddies of mine, they're always like, "Yo, you got shit on," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm telling the story, so like I'm selling it with the best view. You don't, you know, I was a real turd. Like straight up I was. And I wasn't disrespectful. Like I was never like, fuck you or, shut up or anything like I never did that. But I also just like kind of didn't take stuff seriously. And that bugged really serious people because serious people really, really don't like when you don't, I guess in a way, respect them or maybe the way they view the world. And she wasn't happy, and I think I reminded her that the path she took wasn't the one she wanted. And looking back now, I feel like I exacerbated, yeah. What was already like a tense. Oh, you killed Harvey? What a bitch. Um, it was just sad. Like at the time, I was like, "Fuck her, dude," and like even my mom, who's normally on the side of the teachers, being one, she was like, what is this lady's problem?" And it was like me mostly. Um, but I do remember people feeling bad about my situation and them trying to like cover for me, and it was just like, But I was in summer school every year, so even when I left school that I hated, I had to do more school during summer, and I just got by because people would like try and help me out or felt bad for me. I really think that. Like there was a couple teachers who pushed me through because they were like, uh, you know, I think they were just like Joe means well, he just is like confused. And I would say that was probably accurate. Skydrop. Ooh. But this is cooler. It's not a 5-star though. Spoghead. I've seen a lot of his. Here's a 5-star champion. We'll end it here. I took a bunch of summer school. I also did a lot of 5-hour Saturdays, which were, you'd come in on set. I was just always at that fucking school. Thinking about it just makes me angry again, straight up. I just didn't belong there, and they kept making me go. And it was a terror for everybody, including me. I made everyone's life, probably harder. Um, I was gonna say not on purpose, but probably at the time on purpose. And they just wouldn't let me fucking do my thing. So I was in 5-hour Saturdays, so you had one up to 5 hours that you'd serve, and I always had max, so I was always there. Not always every Saturday, but I'd say out of like a month, I'd be there for 2 Saturdays out of every month, serving a 5-hour for whatever, fighting and like that punch I said on the basketball court when that like kid hard checked me. It was like get suspended or take a 5-hour Saturday. So it was like, well, my mom's not gonna let me get suspended. Like no way. So I'd be doing those with all like the really bad kids because the people who were doing 1 hour was like a joke. But like 5 hours sitting on those stupid ass lunch things, man, that sucked. So anyways, I was doing 5-hour Saturdays, and then I do summer school. And summer schools, I had a dude who I failed. I failed his summer class, and they were always like, "You're gonna get held back, Joe." And I'm like, "I fucking know. I don't want to be, but like, what can I do?" And so I went to the summer school. It was to make up social studies, I think. And I got this guy who I swear to God, I thought was on crack or like cocaine when he came in. He was like frazzled. He's this jack dude. His hair was thinning though. He was kind of younger, like, well, I say younger, but like, early 30s. Where do I go? Probably up here. And I remember thinking, like, this guy's a whack job. Like, I can't be in this class with these other, people. He's going to be awful. Turns out the guy was like insanely cool. He was just fucking stoked about the subject matter. He came in like juiced, like he'd taken a rail and would like talk about, social studies and like he just made it super fun. He'd made it, this is bad. Don't go down. Don't go. No, no, too late. Stuff that was like at a cursory glance kind of boring, he would like bring to life. He'd be like, so it was like this, like imagine you're this, and he'd like make it contemporary. And I was like, oh my God. And I think I love history. And I still failed this class, but I love the guy so much. I got all the dudes in the class to sign this petition to get him like permanently on staff. I was like, we got to let the school know that this is like a good ass teacher, you know? So I got the whole class, and it wasn't like I got them to do anything. We loved this guy, so they just were like, "Yeah, I'm on board," you know. And so the final day came. I didn't pass, and I was like, "Hey, man, I just wanted to give you this. It's from all of us. It was like a petition to get him instated, you know, permanently." And I was just like, "Have a good summer," you know. And he's like, "Hey, you didn't pass," and I'm like, "I know." And he's like, "All right, I just wanted you to know that." And I'm like, "Hey, you did everything you could. It's all good. I couldn't get it. It's fine. It's not like I'm not used to this, you know." And I was walking out, and I was probably halfway down the hall, and he came out, and he's like, "Hey, Joe." I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, I'm giving you a C." I'm like, "Really? Why?" And he's just like, "I think you just deserve a C." So I think there were instances where I just got by barely, but it was mostly because people, I think, felt bad for me. Like it's whatever. I mean, I'm not. That's just what it was. It's not something to like overthink or overanalyze. Really, it's just I couldn't get it. But that guy was awesome, and I had a couple other teachers like that. I used to once I found out you could skip school and like not legitimately. There was this dude that used to like walk between. My high school is so big that there were like two large buildings that you walk between for different classes. And several times they were talking about putting me in North Building, which had some classes, but mostly it's because it had a second floor that was only for bad kids that were like separated from Gen Pop, and so they could complete their uh, degree, but they'd gotten in fights or whatever, and so they couldn't be among the other people. That was constantly threatened, and I was just like, well, I'll probably end up there on that second floor one day. Um, and one of the kids from that school was like, "Hey, you can just not go to class." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, just walk around, dude." I was like, "You can just do that?" It's like, "Yeah, I mean, if you're already failing, like, fuck it." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree." "Oh, well, I don't want to be here." And he's like, "All right, let's go walk around." So I walked around with him for like half a semester. Um, that got me in a shit ton of more trouble, obviously. But I used to skip, and then I'd come in for physics because I really liked my teacher, Mr. D. He was like Spock. He was such a funny dude. He was like no nonsense, but he was like super fair. He was just a good guy. It's probably one of the only classes I didn't fuck around in. And I'd come in, I'd like skip school, and I'd like come in for his class. Um, and so I finished that barely by the skin of my teeth, also because I'm pretty sure no person left behind. That's like the motto of, America or whatever. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, by the way. I'd rather it be right than me tell the wrong thing. That was nice. But I got into one college after applying to a bunch. I did pretty good on my ACT. Admittedly, that helped me out a great deal because my grades sure shit didn't do anything for me. But I went to and then I went to college, and it kept on for a year, and that's a whole other story. But I'm pushing an hour and eight, so I'm gonna shut it down here. But that's pretty much it. I was just I didn't know where I belonged. Like I was just like, am I in this class? Am I this kid? I'm not this. I'm not that. So I was just like, I don't think I belong here, dude. I think I just you need to find me someplace to go or something because it's not here because everyone's just mad at me. So, anyways, hopefully that answered it. It's a lot. I tried to speed run it, but maybe that gives you a better look into like what it was like. And I'm sure there's people out there now that experienced something similar. Maybe not to that degree. I was kind of like a weird thing. But I just did trash in school. I was not good at it, even a little bit. But I'll end it there.